Welcome to After Dark. We are here. John is not here tonight, but we have a co-host tonight. We have James from Impending Lies.
Hi.
Speak louder. Speak it.
Hi.
How are you all doing tonight? Crystal's here. Joshua's here, of course. We've got
How's it going?
our whole crew behind us.
We do.
It's awesome. Sock Monkey over there looking over Anthony's shoulder.
With a beer in his hand.
Along with the bodyguard.
With the cigars.
It's funny, I didn't see the sock monkey. I just saw the crash test dummy.
Yeah.
Ralph.
You
He's
see
the
his
man
broken
boy.
arm?
He's got a broken arm.
Is it broken
that
arm?
what that is?
Yeah.
He has a broken arm.
Sometimes he gets into a bit of trouble.
Like a wrist splint? Is that what that
Yeah.
is?
He's part of the
Fantastic.
sock
Well, he
monkey
didn't lose
mafia.
his arm this
I
time.
feel right at home. And at least I know if I get hurt, we'll be okay.
Right.
Yes, we can
It's all good in the
support
hood.
So you have a lot of stuff coming up. I invited you on. I saw your post. You're getting ready to do something. Was it October? Is it August?
We have a lot of things going on.
But specifically, I saw.
it was well, we're doing. I don't think we're out that far. We were called. We're going to be a part of Monster Jam at the Q
That's what I saw. It's very cool.
on Valentine's Day.
I'm like way
Yeah.
October.
That's a
raw.
great Valentine's Day right there. Honestly,
That's
that's,
a good date,
something I
too.
would
It's
be into.
cool. It's
Nice.
not what everyone thinks. Everyone's like, oh, it's Monster Jam. That's so cool. But it's in a weird way. I'm actually kind of excited how it's going because it's not like actual. I mean, great. Would it be cool to play like during Monster Jam? Yeah. But what they do is they do a thing called In the Pit. They bring all the trucks out. They put them on the floor. They bring all the drivers out, and then you get to go on the floor. You buy tickets and you go on the floor. And you get to actually be next to the trucks, and you get to talk with the drivers, and they do interviews with the drivers. And what, how this whole thing came about was the guy doing it, Caden Barry, is a huge fan of Rob Arnold from Camara. He asked Rob to do the Star Spangled Banner this year. Well, Rob unfortunately couldn't do it. It's funny because I'm out Christmas shopping. I'm in a mall, and my phone goes off, and it's Rob, and he goes, "What's your email address?" And then like, bam, and he's like, "Call me." And then another text message. Send me the email address, then call me. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And I'm like, I'm in Hot Topic right on the mall. I'm like, all right, I told my buddy, I'm like, I'll be right back. So I go outside, I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, I had to turn that down, but the guy asked me if I knew any good rock bands or metal rock bands that would want to do this. He's like, do you want to play at the Q? And I'm like, you're really going to ask me that question?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Is
Who
that a
doesn't?
question?
Like-
Who
right.
doesn't?
Like, if you had free tickets to the Q, I'll take them.
Yeah.
So, I was like, yeah, but what's going on? He's like, well, he's working on something. He wants to start integrating bands into this. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, this guy's not going to call me today. No, I missed the call. The guy called an hour later. I'm still in the mall. I didn't even my phone go off.
Figures.
I call him back. He calls me next day, and he explains everything. What it is they do that in the pit thing where you pay for the tickets. You get to go down on the floor. He's explained to me that basically we get to play. It's from 10:30 in the morning till noon before their first show because they do 2 shows a day. So we get to play 2 songs, and then they do like an interview with a driver and some other stuff, and then we're going to play a couple songs and then another driver. So it's like a back and forth kind of thing.
That's
So
really cool.
it'll be cool because this is going to put us in front of a lot of people that would probably
A ton of people.
really
Yeah, a
like
ton
what
of
we do with that kind of a crowd.
Right.
You know, it's not like a rodeo where they want to see country bands. You know what I'm saying? So
It's monster trucks.
yeah, it's like monster trucks.
Right.
You know, it's like
I don't know,
everything.
That's cool to me. I like.
So and I'm really hoping they have the Batman one there because I have a Batman problem. So I'm really hoping that truck's there.
Nice.
We like Batman.
But so we get to play like 6 or 8 songs, and then we're gonna watch the first show of Monster Jam, which is like 2 to 4, and then we get to play at Fastbacks, and I guess that's Brook Park. It's
Yeah.
on
I know exactly.
on
It's
Brook
down
Park
the
Road,
road
and
for me.
yeah, like
It's around here.
we're gonna be there that night. So it's gonna be a busy day, but it's gonna be really cool. And then the other big thing is we're doing. I'm waiting to find out the exact times and dates, but we were confirmed for Rocklahoma this year.
Very nice.
So that's the other big thing that's happening right now. So we're trying to get the record done. So hopefully we can have it before we go there.
ready.
It's not going to be done by. The other thing is we're not allowed to sell any merch at Monster Jam. That's the only thing that sucks. Is we're not allowed
Because
to
it's Monster
because
Jam.
it's Monster
They gotta
Jam.
Sell their merch.
So they're compensating us for that, but so I decided to put together a free show at the Agora, and so I can hand out
Yeah.
everybody tickets. At least they have my name on it. So if they can't make it, at least they'll know Impending Lies. I like them. I can go find them online, and if they can come to the show, great. But who knows? I mean, there could be a lot of little kids here. I don't know what to expect. It's a
Right.
family
Those
event.
are
So.
growing,
A lot of
growing
little kids.
fans.
Yeah,
right there.
exactly.
Exactly. And I've got friends, or even people I've met through the years of playing in bands that have 5-10-year-old kids who, you know,
Like
they
12-year-old.
love, they bring them
My
to the
son
shows
introduced
now.
me to music.
Yeah.
Like, listen to this.
Mine
Skillet,
too.
I think, was one of them. I never heard Skillet, and he's like, listen to Skillet.
Way to pay attention.
My 12-year-old told me
Skillet's
that, and I
awesome.
told him,
Yeah.
Well, this
told
was
him no
a
way.
while back. It really wasn't
Yeah.
recent.
I didn't find Skill until 2008, so I can't say anything.
I'm not even a big fan. No offense. So.
It's not that I was I'm
You know,
a
they
huge
put on a
fan, but
hell of a
they're
show.
Good.
I've heard
I
that.
like
I've heard
their
that. I
sound.
haven't seen them, but
I like their sound.
First time I ever saw them, believe it or not, was in the parking lot of Cedar Point
parking lot show.
with
Cedar
Red.
Point.
With
Right.
Red.
Yes.
Red.
It was
That would be
it's
cool.
some kind of Christian festival they do.
Yeah.
They do
And
a
it was
live,
it was
the live
$55 bucks. It was either $55 to get into Cedar Point for the day or $55 to see the show and ride rides.
Right.
Well, I'm a big fan of Red, wearing the hat. Played with them twice. And so I was like, you know, yeah, why not? And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, it was like they saw at the intro, they got the strings going, and they're playing a
Yeah.
thing, and they're just fire just comes flying out of this. And I was like, all right, you sold me. You know,
Yeah,
you can get
right.
preachy all you want. I'll watch this. It's
Right.
cool.
That's great.
That's awesome. I don't know if you guys know, they were one of the first bands that I interviewed for Rock on the Range. It was Non-Point in
Awesome.
them. My Non-Point interview was tragic. It was tragic. It was just
I
tragic.
think. I
But
remember
What
you
happened?
it was awkward. I was like escorted through this dark tunnel to their bus, and it's quiet. And
Would you
they're
like
in
an
there in their
interview?
pajamas because they're going to take a nap before the show because that's what they do. They're older. They don't, not older or old, but
Right.
I mean, they've been on the like, what, 15 years or something?
I played with
They're
them.
veterans.
No, what's crazy about
Getting
Non-Point
there.
is when I was 18, we got offered to open for Mudvayne on their first headline tour of the
That's
United
awesome.
States. And the opening bands, who we've never heard of, was Non-Point and Factory 81. And,
One of them still is.
And Non-Point's still around. Factory 81, unfortunately, is not. But I think I've played every year since then when Non-Point's come through.
Well, I'd seen
And-
it the year before, even before I started doing anything
Mhm.
with bands, and it was cool to be able to go to that show. And they were great. They were so nice, and
Yep.
I was so awkward because it was just, they're so professional, and their bus is so great, and it just being led back there like, don't let anybody know you're going back.
You
It just
got
was
psyched.
awkward.
You got psyched out in your own head.
It was because I was there on my own, and I was usually, I usually have somebody with me.
Yeah.
It kind of offsets the awkwardness. But you guys were great, and it was very comfortable. I think we talked for like an hour and a half in the basement while the band was playing. It didn't matter because we were just talking. It was
Mhm.
great.
I remember that. We were in the Agora's office. It was loud as hell from the
It
bands
was.
playing.
I thought you were going to say the Agora's tunnel. No. I was going to say.
No, we probably talked about that though.
You know what's worse? Like downstairs, like if you go downstairs to try to like get away, it's just as loud downstairs.
just
It
as
just
loud.
Almost like it's
it
like,
resonates through the cement of that place.
So does the smell. And then there's
Better than Peabody's.
Yeah, right. Well, true.
Yeah.
True.
If you went in the
Yes.
basement of Peabody's, it
Yeah.
was a pole half the time.
Did you go
So
upstairs in Peabody's to that
Um,
stripper pole room?
hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I know. I know.
Stick to the
Trust
floor.
me.
There
I
was
didn't say
mirrors and
no.
everything.
Yes, mirrors and the.
We actually shot a
stage and the
video when I was in
pole and the
Vedetta Point.
bar.
We shot a video in Rockstar, and like last minute, Kenny, our bass player, was like, "I got a stripper that can get on the pole, and we can use her." So like we're shooting, and she shows up, she's on that pole, and she's doing her thing, and like
She's ready.
we just let her shoot, and we kind of played in the background, and it was really cool because like the way that glass was set up, and the way that mirror set up is like little blocks.
You could see you guys.
So
doing
as
it.
it's doing this, you can see us, but then like the line in the mirror would show up, so it looked like an effect in the post production. And it was just the way it was.
That's cool.
You know, and I
That's cool.
never saw her after that. It was really weird.
So that video's up and.
It's somewhere on YouTube.
Somewhere.
I'm sure. I have it actually in my Mac if I need to pull it up, but you don't want to see
What
it.
song was that? What song?
That was a band I did a couple years ago.
Oh,
I don't remember. I think the song was called "My Way to You" or something like that.
side projects.
The stripper that got away.
That got away. Sounds like a.
That's what
nefarious
isn't that what they're
story.
supposed to do? I mean, you do your thing and then goodbye
Yeah,
See
go-
it, yeah.
yeah.
before you get like
Get the
syphilis
fuck
or
out.
something. You know.
Start itching before you leave. Like, what's going on?
So you can't say Non-Point or Red, but what's been your favorite show besides that you've done?
With this band or all time? It's really hard to say.
both.
It's really hard to say. In my younger years of my first band, Puppet, we were extremely lucky. We're in high school. We're 15 to 19 years old, and we played with 6 Feet Under twice, Cannibal Corpse twice, Shadows Fall, Mudvayne, Nothing Face, Kitty. We played with Overkill at the Agora Theater. I'm 17. King Diamond. I mean, there's a list that I can't even remember of everybody. So my first 2-3 years of playing, I remember being in high school. We played with SOD and Skin Lab. And it was March of my senior year of high school, and everyone in school, it's like a Tuesday. They're like, "Oh, you coming to the party?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Why not?" I'm like, "I got a show." And they're like, "What do you mean you got a show?" I'm like, "I'm playing with Scott Ian." And they're like, "Who the hell's Scott Ian?" I'm like, "The little bald guy with the beard on VH1. They're like, "Oh, him." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Jesus Christ, people." But I was the only one, that was 2000, and I was the only one in my high school that had Slipknot shirts.
Nice.
And,
Yeah.
I was the only one, it was, my high school at that point was, you listen to rap and R&B, or you
Yep.
listen to punk.
Well, we grew up in the same.
Yeah, and you are the same.
I know.
And there's me listening
the
to
outcast.
Coal Chamber and Machine Head, and and everyone's like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" So, it was a really cool time for me because I was young and I'm hanging out with these people. Like Snake from Skin Lab was giving us strings and picks, and Scott Ian held a door for me, and we played with Hatebreed, and. And then I went into Scalera a couple years later, and we played with Hell Yeah and Blood Simple at the House of Blues on a Jaeger tour, and got to hang out with Vinnie Paul, and I already played with Mudvayne once, so I got to hang out with Chad again, and then
It's nice to see them again.
yeah, and I went up to him because actually we pissed them off pretty good because I was in a band called Puppet. We painted our faces, and once they found out we painted our faces, they were pissed. They wanted us off the show. And so I went up to him and I was like, "Dude, you're not gonna remember me, but I was in the band." And he's like, and he did. He was like, "I remember you guys," and we ended up talking all night. It was awesome. At the end of the night, the show at the House of Blues was done before Peabody's was done, and Tim Williams comes up to me from Blood Simple, and he's like, "What are you guys doing tonight?" And I'm like, "Well, we're about to head over to Peabody's because American Head Charge hasn't played yet." He's like, "Can we follow you?" I'm like, "Sure." So I called Chris and I was like, "Hey, I'm bringing Blood Simple with me," and we hung out and stayed all night with them. A year later, we got to play with Hatebreed and Typo Negative, which was really cool because I'm never a huge fan of Typo Negative, but I respect what they did.
Right.
And it was really cool to get to meet Peter Steele before he passed away. So that was a really cool show. As far as this band goes, Uproar was awesome. Uproar in 2012 when we won, we won the Battle of the Bands through, which I like how they did that because. Granted, yeah, we won, so of course I liked it. But they didn't go by who was number 1 out of 10. They got the top 10 bands, and then they said, which one do we think is the best band for this?
Nice.
And I thought that was cool because you can get a bunch of people, you get a little high school band with all their friends that sit online all night and just go crazy.
Yeah.
That's not really fair. That's Battle of the Band stuff is never fair.
No, and there should be a better way to do it that actually
And that's why
showcases your.
And that's why I liked how they did it that way because we got into that a month late. And we ended up being 3rd when the whole thing was over. And then when I got that phone call, I was like, it's 800 number. And I'm like, who the hell? Put this to voicemail.
Right.
And it was like, hey, this is blah, blah, blah from Ernie Ball, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you guys won. And I called him back, and I'm like, you fucking with me? And he's like, no, dude. And that was Shinedown. And we got to meet, we played on the stage with POD and Thousand Foot Crutch. And, it was really cool, and it was really, it was awesome because you see the professionalism. Everything was on time. Everything was moving. They had guys there, it was just bang, bang, bang. And it's like, God, I wish every show was like this.
More professional than us right here.
This is actually better than most of the other ones I've done, so you're doing pretty good.
This is far not the most professional thing we've ever done.
But, but late, in the last year, though, we played with Gemini Syndrome twice. And
I missed their shows
I
when their
haven't
bus
seen
broke
them live.
down. And I was
they
like,
were, we played with them with Red last February. And I met Aaron the year before for 5 minutes at Rock on the Range. And we all just got to talking, and Emphatic was on that tour. And the guitar player came up, Lance comes up to me and he goes, "Dude, did you guys know them before tonight?"
He
And I was
was in
like,
New Philly.
yeah, he's not far from here.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite bands. They just
Yeah.
live down the street.
Well, he calls me, and he comes up to me at the show, and he goes, "Dude, did you know them before?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Dude, you guys are I was like, we're just hitting it off, I guess, because we just hung out with them all night."
Right.
And then we played with them again with the Non-Point show. And it was just picked up right where it left off, So
That's always cool.
whenever Gemini's here, it's that's... I talk to Mike on Facebook here and there. Nothing too crazy. I mean, I don't want to say we're great friends, but if I write him and say, "Hey man, how you doing?" He'll write back, and we'll fill each other in real quick.
I like
but
that. I've noticed that's a lot easier to do than I ever thought. I've talked to people.
Yeah, Facebook's the easiest way to communicate
Jason
with
Marino.
anybody
Mhm.
these days.
Just chit chat and just, hey, how's it going? Can you talk to
Small
your
talk.
people? See if we could do an interview sometime. And he's like, yeah, I'll do that. Because I know you don't go through
Yeah.
certain people, but he's like, yeah, cool, we'll talk.
It was funny because when their bus broke down, Gemini's bus broke down, I was like, so how's everything? That was bad. And he's like, dude, don't. And Aaron was like, don't feel bad for us. I go, why is that? And he goes, well, it broke down in Vegas, which is right where our producer is. He's like, I spent 6 days at my producer's pool just hanging out while they were fixing it. So it
In
wasn't
Vegas.
that bad.
Yeah,
I was
right,
like,
so it's
I was like,
real life.
Happened to
I was
break
like, I
down
feel
in
really bad
Vegas.
for you right now. Not really. You know, like, then you got a band like us. You know, we're going to Louisiana and blow a tire going 70 down the highway and go through a guardrail into a ditch and we almost die. You know, and then you're just hanging out in Vegas for 6 days.
In a pool.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to be anywhere.
Of all places, Vegas. Better than middle of Tennessee, I'll tell you that.
Well, we're going to take a break on this note and play a couple of your songs. I have Scream to Whisper and Chaos. And then we'll be back and we'll talk some more. And you guys want to say anything? No? All right. We'll be back. This is
We'll be back right
Everyone-
quick.
Way to go, guys. Way to drop the ball there, pal.
Welcome back to After Dark. We are here with James from Impending Lies, and of course Joshua and Krista are here, and David's taking dirty pictures.
Yes.
That last bit was Impending Lies and 2 songs. So tell us about your new album.
Let's see. Doing another EP, doing 5 songs. Only one of the songs has only been played once live. That's at the Christmas show, so it's going to be
Is
kind of.
that the one we just listened to that you guys?
Yeah,
didn't
the
get
one
to
I just
listen
kind of
to?
demoed you real quick. Yeah,
I like that. It was cool.
thank you. That's the first song that we actually did in a different tuning than drop C. We put that one in drop A sharp, I think is what Dave put it in. I don't honestly remember at this point. I just have a little piece of tape that tells me what tuning to put it in when it goes out.
When should we be expecting that out into the?
There's a couple different things pending right now.
There always is.
Hopefully the latest would be mid-June. I would like to have it before we go to Rocklahoma in May, or at least have it available there and then do a full release in June. It's really cool. We're doing it with Rob Arnold, former lead guitarist for Chimera. I've known Rob for a really long time, and it's really cool to finally get to work with him. He told me the best advice I've ever gotten in music was what he told me when I was 18. They just signed their deal with Roadrunner, and he was like, "Don't write something that you can't bob your head to." And I've kind of kept that over the last 15 years.
Makes
And
sense.
gotta be
You can't.
exactly. And
You can't enjoy it then.
I was weird. I played metal bands, and I was so I never really cared about mosh pits. I would rather see 500 people bobbing their head enjoying it than 10 people trying to kill them, while the rest of them were going.
Lighters in the
And
air.
they're so afraid to get hit that they can't enjoy us playing. Like I never really liked that. I actually had a kid when I was in my old band. 2 minutes left in the set. He got hit from behind. His kneecap got moved up into his thigh area. It was disgusting.
Oh my god.
You know, so I prefer to see that. So that's something I've always kept with me. But the new record's sounding really good. We are doing the Journey cover for Separate Ways.
That's awesome. I listened to that for the first time when I went to their show not this last year, but 2013.
Yeah.
And interviewed you guys, and I wasn't expecting it, so it's just
No
not
one does.
many
That's
people
cool.
Journey
do
the band?
a
Yeah, like
good.
we actually cover Separate Ways, and
I
it's
love
it's
that
cool
song.
because like we did make it our own. We tried to keep it as original as possible. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. We didn't pull like an Atreyu, Bon Jovi, where the second verse is just completely like metaled up.
Right.
During the solo, I did do a little bit of a small breakdown under the solo, and coming out of the bridge, instead of doing a straight time, we did a half time to give a little bit more feeling to it. But we tried to keep everything original. I think I screamed like in 2 different parts under Matt singing.
So I just happen to have a video of
Just live.
it is live.
Where?
It's March 30th, 2013.
Oh, that's a CD release show.
2030.
That was the CD.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
on your personal. It's in the Impending Lies
Futuristic.
YouTube.
I don't know who took that video. It was sent
Well, you
to
can
us.
hear it. Do you want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
Let's see, I don't know if I need to.
bottom out.
Oh, it was great because the show that I went to had Davo, and the other guitarist, I don't know his name, I'm sorry, but he's really nice. And they're like this, they're not looking at each other. They're not looking at each other. But all of them, or both of them, they're just, everything they do is in time, and they're not looking at each other. They don't even know they're doing it. It was so cool.
Chemistry. Remember this show?
Yeah, this was the CD release show for the Until Lights Burn Out that we put out. He sounds a lot better now, though.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Oh, it sounded amazing when I have a video on my Facebook of that night.
He'll always just look at us and go, fucking Steve Perry. Like on the set list, it'll be like, Scream to Whisper, In Time, Steve Perry, really big. Like we don't even write separate ways, just put Steve Perry on it. So, and it's weird because like in the beginning of us playing this, we didn't really know how we thought about covers. So we put it at the end of the set. Then we realized when we were out of town, people really didn't know who we were. When we played it, that's when everyone would be, that they finished the set with us. You know, we played 10 songs, we put it 6 or 7.
You hear something, they hear something they recognize, and then they.
So we bumped up to like 3rd or 4th in the set.
Yeah.
And we have people like, you know, I'm usually putting the set list out real quick in the front of the stage when we play, and people grab the set list to see where is it going to be, and it's like, it's cool because I'm glad that they enjoy it, but in the same aspect, I'm like, it's not our song. They come on with that song and our song.
But it draws attention, and you're making it yours.
You're making it yours by how you do it.
It's like, do I want to be like this good faith or no?
No, that's not even.
Hey, that was a really good cover. Don't even. I had to say, that was fucking great back in '98 or whatever that was.
I forgot about that. When I was thinking Behind Blue Eyes, wasn't that a cover?
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was
Faith
awful.
was the shit. So
Faith was good.
don't tell me you didn't go buy a $3 bill because of Faith, because you did. And if you
I
say
saw
you
him
didn't
live opening. Papa Roach was the opener. Eminem was the middle guy, and they were the headliners. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Not Eminem. Warped Tour.
Is he cold person?
No, we'll leave it at that.
I heard he wasn't very
I called him.
nice.
I was actually with LeJean from Seven Dust, and I tried to shake his hand to say, you know, good set, because I mean he's on Warped Tour. He just came out. Warped Tour's weird for him.
Right.
And I was with LeJean walking back to the bus to get my ticket signed by everybody, and he walks by. I put my hand out, and he just snubbed me. And I had a few choice words, and LeJean looked at me and goes, yeah, no one likes him. Like, and that was the end of the
just spend the very last day alive with a cancer patient, though.
Well, maybe it's because he got older. I realized he's not. I'm not gonna leave this one alone.
Yeah.
I think you are correct.
Real Slim Shady stood up this time, so you just
There you go. I think that's
He's
it,
sober
growing
now,
up
too,
and
so I
being
guess.
sober. Absolutely.
But no, the record's coming out really good. We did start an Indiegogo account, unfortunately. It's not something we ever wanted to do, but we booked some shows. We had a trip in November. We're going to Louisiana and then Dallas. And I made it through the first 9 hours of driving. I made the deal with the guys. I'll drive the first 9. I like driving at night, so I drove, until 7 in the morning, and 6 in the morning, something like that. And then Matt started driving, and thank God he was the one driving, because he's the one that has a Class B CDL. I don't know if any of us would be able to handle what happened when it happened, but going down a hill in Tennessee, we blew a tire. I woke up to the van literally walking down the highway, and I probably if any of us were driving, we would have overcompensated and rolled that whole thing down the highway. He was able to keep control, went through a guardrail, ended up in a ditch, busted the radiator, blew 4 tires on the trailer. Some of the gear, they got it in road cases, because some of the road cases actually got dented and messed up pretty good. But basically, everything that we had to finish the record went to bail us out of that.
Right.
And we never made it to Louisiana. By the time it got fixed, we couldn't make it. So then we were on our way to Dallas. We get 3 hours from Dallas and the transmission goes. And it's like, can this trip get any worse? We played the show in Dallas. We had to rent a truck. Dave and Matt drove the truck home. The other, so there was Nick. Nick and Chuck caught one-way flights that morning on Sunday. We tried to drive the van home with an empty trailer, and I couldn't get it over 55. The transmission was done. So me and Mark had to turn back. The van and trailer is still with Monica, who booked the shows for us, the CJ from Giant Bull sister-in-law. We stayed at her and her husband's house. She still has the van and trailer. And me and Mark had to book one-way flights home. So with that being said, we ended up having to start an Indiegogo account. If you go to Indiegogo.com or even on our Facebook page, you can see the link. And we unfortunately we had to put that up to try to raise some extra cash, just because everything we
happens
had.
Yeah,
went
feel free
away.
to post it on
Yeah,
our page.
Right
please
on.
do. I mean,
I
that's the stuff that
it sucked.
happens.
We never
People
wanted
don't
to do
think
that.
about that kind
No.
of stuff. They're like,
Bands
oh, we
go
don't
through
want
hell
we
just
want
to
free
give a
shows.
show.
They don't
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
but you
about
guys
it.
are out there
Well,
hustling,
what
doing
sucked,
you
what
gotta do.
really pissed me off was I've had one person write us going, really? Like, comments, and you guys are going to do that? You can't just do it on your own? It's like,
But you know why?
you dick, we
But you know why?
tried.
Right.
Like,
It's because there's so many bands out there going, hey, we need a new album. Can you pay for that?
Right.
Hey, I'm a rich movie guy.
But
I
when
need a
it
new
comes-
movie. Can you pay for that?
Yeah.
And then
When it
come
comes to
see it and
very-
pay for it?
it's like,
Right.
we have fought tooth and nail to get everything we've upgraded all of our gear. I mean, some of the bands look at us when we come in, we've done everything we can to be as professional as possible, to make the show as enjoyable as for the fans that come see us play. And people don't realize, like, that's not cheap. I mean, we've got $30,000 in gear to play a show.
Right.
Now, is that a little excessive for a local band? Maybe. But we're also trying to be prepared for when
inevitable.
Yeah, like, if it happens, it happens.
Right.
But if it doesn't, at least we're putting on damn good shows, or at least we're attempting to put on damn good
Right.
shows, and not playing through, $100 amps.
Right.
I mean, I've spent 16 years playing music, upgrading my gear and upgrading my gear and upgrading my gear and upgrading my gear to the point where it's like, I think I'm finally good, and thank God we had everything in road cases, or we were trashed. I mean, we were done, so, we had to put that up, but it feels like, and it really kind of sucked. I'm not going to lie. Like, when we got back, you could just feel like the defeat. We were defeated.
Right.
Like, the fact that we made it through the whole weekend with all that shit and nobody fought.
Right,
Nobody
that's-
got shitty with the other one.
Right.
Everyone was just, we really did it kind of like, I mean, it sounds really lame, but we pulled together and we got through the weekend.
What do you like, family?
Yeah, and, but there was no egos, there was no like, it's just your fault and I'm
Right.
pissed off, and, but, we got home and we're finally starting to get out of that funk. I mean, just now starting to get out of that funk of like, we've got Anthony sitting over here who's been helping us out huge the last couple of weeks, and, because of him now we've got Cold Cock Whiskey that just picked us up. We're waiting for like the welcome package from them. And there's Dirtbag Clothing's picked us up recently.
I like Dirtbag.
There's some other stuff that's being worked on, and it kind of puts some wind back in the sail.
Right.
Is the Indiegogo going as well as we wanted it to? Right now, no. But it's also a bad time of year. It's Christmas time.
And those are hard
And-
to
yeah, and-
promote and everything. I've had.
I mean, it really. What's crazy though is you see like it's something where like someone like invented something stupid, like I invented a phone case that can do this, this, and this, and everyone's like, yeah, and it's like, but you got like a hardworking
Potato
band.
salad, that's all
That's
right.
like,
trying
look,
to provide entertainment.
and what really got me mad was when the guy commented saying, "Oh, you guys are gonna," like, dude, like we feel like we put together some damn good packages. So it's not like we're asking for free money. You're
Right.
getting stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we're just saying, "Hey, give us whatever you got." Like,
There's always going to be the one in there that doesn't think that they're getting enough, so they have to kind of shit on someone else's
Right.
dream.
and what sucks is we have 50. I don't even know. There's over 5,000 people on our Facebook page, which we've doubled the numbers
That's
in
awesome.
literally 4 months. We went from 20 something to 50 something.
That's
to
awesome.
5,000. If every person on there just did $1, we hit the goal.
Right.
And we're only at 33% of the goal a month into it. And it's like, I don't know what else to do.
Say that. Say if all of you.
I have. I literally have. And it's like, and I don't want to keep doing it every day because I don't want people to delete us because this is
You don't want
annoying.
to sound like you're begging.
Exactly.
You can't give up.
The good thing
no,
about
that won't
Yeah,
happen.
you gotta keep
That
your
won't
head up.
happen. But it's like this record. I can honestly say, I've been playing shows since '99. I was 17. This will be. If this is the last record I ever make, I can be happy.
Nice.
Like, it sounds that good, and it's not even mixed yet. Like, I am so
it does
excited.
sound good. I have.
Like, I am so excited. Like, we used, and what's really funny, we spent 4 or 5 hours trying to find the right guitar heads, the right sound, the right cabinets. We ended up going, and we tried 4 different heads, and I used mine, and Dave used his. Like, like, all that time, we're like, shit, we could have been done already.
Yeah.
But and it's cool because instead of doing, like, all right, usually, and a lot of times, like, we're talking Rob, like, what do you think's best? He's like, well, usually, like, one guitar player do a song because it's all their pick style. Me and Dave are so used to demoing stuff at his house, and it's sounding like one guitar that we can actually do it at the same time. So, instead of doing, like, one guitar amp on the left and one guitar on the right, I did a pass on the left, and I did a pass on the right, and then he did a pass on the left and a pass on the right, and we mixed them together on both sides. So, like, one side won't sound different than the other side. So I'm really excited to hear how that's going to sound when it's completely done. you know, because like the guitars sound thick, they're clean. You know, I never thought I'd say it. Like we tried a couple Peavies. They're Rob's Peavies. You know, like it's what he toured with.
Right.
And even Rob was like, that ain't it. You know, like we're right back to our Mesas. And I'm like, well, okay. You know, so it was like, and I've learned so much, like, just as a guitarist. You know, drink. Here you go. I did that for you actually. But you know, I've learned a lot just from him, just because like certain parts, like, you know, picking wise, you know, you're playing in live. It's like, you know, you're never gonna get that little nuance live because it's so, you know, the room's so big. But when you got that mic on that amp just right, you know, pick like this instead, and it's like it rings out perfect.
Right.
You know, like I've never really had the chance to sit with someone that's so professional like Rob is. And you hear stuff, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting frustrated. He's like, do it again, do it again, do it again. I'm like, what are you hearing? Like, I don't hear it. Like, I've been playing in a band forever and I don't know what you're hearing. And he explained it to me and I'm like, I still don't hear it. But then I realized, I was like, all right, but he's doing this because he wants it to be the best he's ever done. So, you know, and when we started this up, you know, when he called me, he goes, I want this to be the best record you've ever put out, and I want this to be the best record I've ever done so far as an engineer.
Awesome.
And you can tell every minute that we've been in that studio, the love that goes into this is phenomenal. And, you know, it's just, but it's fun too. Like he's fun to be around. But then you get like we'll get into a couple minute break and you start talking about old stories of him on the road, stuff like that, and you learn from that also. You know, so you hope you don't make mistakes. You know, you try to learn so you know you don't make those mistakes later too. Like, you know, when we got in the accident, you know, he's like, dude, he's like, it's happened probably a dozen times to me.
Part of the it's the nature of the game.
Glad you guys are safe, but you're gonna learn from it, you know. And so like me and Anthony are going out to get our trailer in 2 weeks. It's still sitting in Dallas. The van's shot, but they can't do anything with the van and junk it or anything. So it's not worth fixing for us. But the trailer is still good. So we're going to get the trailer and then junk the van, but they can't junk the van until we attach the trailer.
Right.
So we're going to take a week, which is cool because some of the bands that Anthony worked with, she actually, Monica has booked that night. We're going to be out there.
Awesome.
So we'll go hang out.
Right.
You know, but hopefully the record will be out in June. I've got a couple dates that I've been talking to the Agora about doing a CD release show. Ultimately, I'd love to get it out earlier. I'd love to get it out in like April, but I also don't want to rush it. You know, and I don't know how long it's going to take to mix it because Rob is like, you know, I'm going to mix, and then I want you guys to come in and sit, and then we'll do a little bit more, and then we're going to have to send it out for mastering. You know, and I don't know how long that's going to take, and I don't want to be that band that books a CD release show. Let's go CDs.
Right.
No, that happened. That is the Storm, the one that we just put out.
Yeah.
I ordered that thing a month before the show, and they say 5 to 10 days, and that's all. And they always did it that fast. That company I went through. I don't know what happened. After emailing and calling and complaining, it literally showed up at my house the day of the show. Like I was like getting ready to leave, and my friend Bob was going to actually swing by the house to grab it because you know FedEx said he'd be there that day. If I left, they showed up like right then. I was like, oh, like I was. Never had my heart like I'm like I don't want to be that band. Right. Like you want to buy it? No, I'll mail it to you.
We can sign you up for a future.
Oh, by the way, this was a pre-order release party.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen on Facebook a band saying, "Oh, our song's going to be released, our EP's going to be released on this, you know, at this time," and then it doesn't show up for like just ever.
Well, and it's tough because if they come up with problems.
Well, yeah, but that's why you shouldn't give, you know, time for
this one. I
pump
think
them up in other ways.
I think June's a decent time away for us to get it done, get it sent to us, get it pressed correctly, and that's the other thing. And the thing is, that's another thing. That's another hard part is how many do you press?
Right.
You don't know.
You know, because I mean, granted, I'd love to sell a ton of them, but in the same aspect, like. Am I wasting my money on CDs? Should I be pressing flash drives at this point?
Right.
It makes you wonder because it seems to be the digital way is the way to go. I use that.
But I'm still that guy. I'm that guy that I've never bought a song on iTunes. But I have
a CD player.
I do
like
all
this
the time.
computer that's in front of me.
My new Mac don't have one. I have to go buy a USB drive to do it.
There's also listeners that love the CD. Like bonus tracks, or like you get to read a little bit about the.
I like
band.
having the artwork. I
Right.
like having the CD. I will
Right.
load it into iTunes, and I'll do what I want to do digitally with it. As
Right.
far as like my phone is my iPod,
Right.
or I have a flash drive in my car. So, I'm still that guy though. Like, I love Motionless in White. The new Motionless in White that just came out. I need to go get it. I will end up going to get it probably tomorrow, and I'll end up putting it into my iTunes, and then I'll do what I need to do with it.
Right.
And the CD will go sit in my CD pile until my iTunes crashes and I have to reload it. But
That'll never happen.
but I think this year went from us. I can say this year went for us going into a very, for lack of a better term, a very depressed mode. To like, all right, let's get through Christmas. And then all right, let's get through January. January is usually the month we take off because the weather in Cleveland sucks. We all know
It's
that.
awful.
And it's amazing. Every year in January, the practice days is when it snows the worst. I don't know why that happens that way, but it's like I can't make it. I can't get out of my driveway, and it's like
I saw
fine.
a post on my Facebook from March 31st, and it was a picture of just snow. So much snow. I'm just like, oh great.
But
Not longer than we think.
I think this year's going to end up turning around to be a pretty good year. I'm really excited about the new record. We all are. And then like I said, Rocklahoma coming up. That'll be a really. I don't know who's on it yet, but I saw who's on it last year. And there's some really cool bands. Theory of a Dead Man was on it, and I like those guys. Deftones was on it last year, so who knows who's going to be on it this year? This year seems like Slipknot's hitting a lot of those ones. How awesome would that be?
That would be,
I don't even care if you don't.
They're number one right now.
If you don't, even if you don't like the band, you have to respect what they're doing.
Right.
And I've been a fan since day one. So.
I was 2 months pregnant and went to one of their shows because I want tickets.
But I think this year's going to be a really cool year. With Cold Cock, whiskey. Who knows what's going to happen with that? With the new endorsements coming up, and Mark just got an endorsement for drums. I don't know the name of the company, unfortunately. What's cool is it's not a big company, but they're in Cincinnati, so they're in Ohio.
that's
Nice. See,
So
those are
we're gonna
nice.
find a
My
day.
favorite
We're gonna
cities.
find a day that he's there that I can drive. I told Mark I'd drive down with him. We'll go check out the place, talk with the guy in person. Like we are kind of like we're all the same. We like to we like going face to face with people. At least you know who you're dealing with. I don't even care if it's a FaceTime. That's still, but you can see emotion. You can see, you can see in someone's eyes that they're gonna pose
Get
you.
a feel for someone more.
Exactly.
So, right.
Emails you can hide behind.
Right.
So. But I think 2015 is going to be pretty interesting so far.
That sounds like it. We're going to go to another break, then we'll be back to say goodbye to everybody. Say goodbye to James and Anthony over there, just chilling, doing nothing over there. We're going to play Chaos.
Mafia.
We're going to play Chaos by Impending Lies for you, and then we got a Saliva, Saving Abel, and Emphatic coming up after that because it's funny.
It's funny.
Well, we were just talking about all the bands, so I just found them on there.
There you go.
So we'll be back. This is After Dark with all of us on the New Home for Rock, Rock Ridge Radio. James from Impending Lies here at After Dark with Joshua over there with his woo.
That was.
I was trying to. That reminds me. I was looking up wrestlers today, and I was trying to find the wrestler that says woo. That
Sting.
That's
No, Ric Flair.
Oh, Ric Flair,
But
yeah.
I couldn't remember his name, so I just typed into Google the wrestler that says woo, and they had his picture. It was hilarious. Anyway, we're here with James, and tell us about your new. We didn't get into your new sponsorships.
Cold
we
Cock
should.
Whiskey. www.coldcockWhiskey.com. Waiting
Has
for the stuff
cock
from
in
them.
Cock and whiskey.
Yeah, terrible. Sounds like a bad combination, right?
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic.
Depends on who you are, really.
Dirtbag Clothing, which is
That sounds fun.
I believe dirtbagclothing.com is theirs,
Dirtbag
if I
Clothing.
remember.
Google dirt bag.
Yeah, just Google everything you find. That's what I try to tell Matt.
Google it. You don't need no dot.
No, we do
anything.
shows, and Matt's like, we got Facebook, we got this, we got that, and like Matt's like the most. Like I actually asked Matt once. I was like, dude, I have a Matt Hayes on my Twitter. Is this yours? He goes, I don't think I have a Twitter. And I looked it up. I'm like, dude, that's so you. He didn't know he had it.
That's
so,
always great.
so I'm like, okay, this is not good. He's the one that has talked to people. I'm like, so every show, I'm like, dude, just tell him to Google the name. Because, like, let's just be realistic. Everyone's got their own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether it's Tumblr or Instagram, which it's been great because I can't mess with all these.
Oh, see, I totally found you on Pinterest. I didn't find you on Pinterest. I'm kidding.
I say, we need to talk to Chuck about that one. But it was cool because, like, our merch guy, Chuck, great guy. I mean, we pick on him. Like, he's like the punching bag of the band. But he takes it and he dishes it and it's fun. But he was like, dude, he's like, he messes with Tumblr. He messes with Instagram. And I don't have the time to do all of it. And yeah, you can and we integrated it all. So but I gave him control of it. So if you ever see anything grammarly, the grammar that is misspelled and misdone from Instagram or Tumblr, it's because Chuck did it. And then we have to yell at him later.
Hooked on Phonics is
Oh, well, he's from Youngstown, so. But with that, no, they all admit it. Trust me, that's where Dave's from too. But so you can, yeah, anything. I always tell Matt, I'm like, just tell him to go to Google. It's easier. Reverb Nation, everything will pop up. I mean, if you're gonna pick a band name, and you Google the name, and something else comes up, like another band,
You have the wrong band name.
you probably shouldn't use that band name. Maybe that's just
Right.
me. The only thing with us is like if you type in Impending, the first thing that come up is Doom because the metal band.
I did see that today.
But then
when I was
once you go to
checking.
the L, once you hit that L,
It automatically
everything comes
goes
up lies. I can live with that. I can live with that. We're doing we're calling it the Winter Storm Show since the Storm EP was just released. It's essentially a free show. If you have a ticket from the bands, you get in for free.
Nice.
Bands playing right now. I actually have the list on my phone. Hold on. Crap, where'd it go?
We're patient. We'll fill the
Got it.
void with non-silence.
I got it. February 28th, we're going to do... We usually try to do one free show a year. Unfortunately, we try to do 2 or 3 a year to be cool. And less people come because they didn't pay for the tickets, so they don't feel apt to
Right,
come. It's like we're trying to
right.
do... So we've said, all right, we'll do one a year. So it's going to be us, Arcana, Metal Mafia, Deadfall, and we're working on the last one right now. I've asked a couple other bands, and Anthony had another band that me and him need to actually talk about later. We'll talk about that later. But all the bands have tickets. All the bands are giving them out for free. If you don't have a ticket, you're going to pay the ticket price at the door. If you're under 21 and you have a free ticket, then it's $4 at the door. So it's typical,
Right.
but at least you have to pay the ticket price. So if anyone's interested in coming or want tickets, write us on Facebook, write us an email at impendinglies@gmail.com. Or if you know any of us personally, write us a personal message. Doesn't matter. And we'll mail them to you. Or, we'll meet up or whatever.
When's that show?
February 28th,
Where at?
the Agora.
Yeah, if you want to get a hold of us and you want to get tickets, we'll get a hold of him and
Yep.
get you tickets.
We'll mail them out, or we'll put together a guest list. I'm not sure, but some people want the tickets. That's fine. Whatever's best for you. But that way you can get in and not have to pay the ticket price. And we're trying to play with bands we haven't played with before, and all these bands we have not played with before.
That's always good.
It's always fun.
really fun.
It's always fun to play with bands that but like our boys in Via the Sun, play with them a couple times a year usually. Love playing with those guys. But we did our last 2 shows at the Agora with them, so it's time for
Right,
something new.
something
Well,
different.
no, I guess not the last 2. Yeah, actually, they did the Christmas show too. So, something new, something fresh. It's unfortunately, I don't want to say like the scene's dead and I sound like everybody else, but
No, but it needs a revitalization.
it's not like it was when I first started. I can tell you that. And when these bands finally realize, just because someone quit or someone got fired from a band, there's a reason, and it wasn't working. Get over it. Move on.
Right.
If anything, use it as your fuel to start something new and try to be better than them. But
Right.
don't make it so public and personal, and just work
And they all
together.
do.
I mean,
It's like a divorce.
It
It
is,
really
yeah.
is.
And we watch it explode on Facebook.
and yeah, keep your drama offline. Please. Like that. I mean, like that's the one thing about us. Like I don't know, you Nikki, you've probably noticed when we change members out, you don't know until you see
There's
pictures.
there's no big, look at this, look what
The
we
only-
did.
There's nothing worse
The only
than
member that
knowing-
we ever said bye to was Matt Pettit. He played bass for us for 6 months. His soon-to-be wife got a great job offer. He works from home. They were able to move and take that job. He, to this day, is still a part of the band. He's not a member of the band, but he is a part of the group.
Active.
We use GroupMe as an app to talk. Those who need to be in there are in there. He is still in there. He's the only past member that's still in that group.
And that's cool. It's nice being able to
He's
do that.
he's family, and he always will be. I talk to him sometimes on the phone more in a week than some of the guys. So with that being said, it's me personally, I try with these shows to get a new band every time to come play. So that way there's more people get to see and more people get to know, because it's the only way that this is going to work.
Well, all famous bands were local bands
Right.
to begin with, and somebody discovered them.
Exactly. You know, and you know, like we did the last couple shows with Audience of Rain and Silence Within. They're from the Akron Canton area. Young kids, good band. They're actually really good. I like them. They're good kids.
And it's
I know audience free.
well,
They're-
and you don't want to get stuck with bands that make them feel like there's nothing to work for.
Exactly.
And
Kind of give them more inspiration and like.
Dude,
you can-
I
there's
was
somewhere to
was
go.
their
There
age.
is.
I was their age at one point. You know, my
Right.
first show was with Crypt Kicker. That was when Crypt Kicker was
Wow.
really doing really well in Cleveland. You know, like, and we looked up to those guys. You know,
Right.
and if it wasn't for them, I might not be sitting here right now. You know, I don't know.
You never know. It could be an artist looking at you like that now. Like,
You know,
jamming out.
but those kids, I see potential myself. You know, someone saw potential in me back in the day when I was still, you know, learning how to write songs and
well,
you know,
not
really learning to play
enough
my
people
instrument.
do that. They say, "Oh, they're better, so let's squash them."
Yeah,
I
that's
hate saying
it's
that.
not good. It's not good. You know, it took me all these years to find 5 guys that I can play in a band with and not hate any of them. So, you know, I mean,
At least all the time. At the same time.
well, that's one thing nice about us is we don't fight. We will every couple months. We might just take a practice and sit down and talk and go, "What's on everyone's mind?"
But that's communication, and
Right.
that's
Right,
that's
breaking it
key in
down,
my
right.
opinion.
Exactly. You know, especially after like with the accident and everything, we had to sit down and get it out. You know what I mean? We had to like, how's everyone feeling? What's going on? You know, how are we going to get through it? You know, we started the Indiegogo. And we worked on some other angles.
By the way, don't forget they have an Indiegogo, and they're going to post the links on all of our websites so that you can go and give at least $1. If everybody gives at least $1, they can
It
get
adds up.
Oh yeah,
They can reach
that's good
their goals.
gas.
It is.
Gas is going down too, so that's even
Yeah,
a bonus right there.
seriously,
Right
seriously. It just
Awesome.
you know it just I will say like I said this earlier, but the new record is sounding really good, and we just want to make sure that we do it 100% from front to back. You know, no cutting corners this time. No saying, "Hey Dave, can you master it?" So we don't have to spend the money on it. You know,
Right.
like this is the one that we want to go from start to finish, full steam. When I told Rob was like, "Oh, I thought I was going to master it," but I'm really happy you guys are going to go the extra step. And that
Well,
made
if
me
it's
realize we
anything
need to
like
do it.
what you shared with us, it's already
Yeah, I
it's
like
really
that.
good. I
That's-
like
that's
that.
pretty cool.
Thank you.
Well, we are close to the end of the show, and we are really glad that you were here. We had a little bit of a audio glitch, but we got it.
We rocked it out.
Nobody
We
wants
did,
to hear me
and
anyway.
well, it's in the video. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to live with that.
Can you put like the black line across my eyes? Just so-
We'll
Not
censor
really
bars.
me.
Just censor bars.
Knew
on
I should have put my
everybody's-
hood up.
The
Damn it!
X's.
The X's.
Just put the X's
no,
in
what's
post-production.
witness protection? We got to make your voice.
I should have did the Unabomber look. With the hood up, with the
With
thing
the-
over my
with
face,
the
the
shades.
glasses.
Nice.
Like it's not really me.
Nice.
Get the hoodie that you just zip up into the new character.
Yeah, that's.
Put a
The luchador one.
Well, there's the
My friend
that
had one of those. It was really
Luchador.
cool.
The neighbor girl has a Spider-Man one. You zip it up.
No, I
the
can't do
hood all the
Spider-Man.
way,
That's
and
cheating.
there's-
Can't do
Batman.
Well, you're right, but they
Batman.
probably have
Nice.
Batman.
Yes.
Talk like this.
I talk like this.
Batman
because-
versus Superman's coming up.
Okay, real quick, off subject. But did anyone notice that Tom Hardy in Dark Knight Rises sounded like Sean Connery with a wet washcloth over his mouth?
Yeah.
Is it just me?
No, I caught that.
Okay, I'm glad someone else
Said
agrees
Josh
because it's been
probably
killing me
thought
for like
that.
a
Nice.
year.
Nice.
What's all shit bar? It's like, what did you just say?
Really, Bane?
Get
Come
that
on.
out of your get the dick out of your mouth, man. I don't know what you just said.
And on that note, we're out of here. This is After Dark with Nikki, Josh, Crystal. John is out of here.
We're gonna
for
end it with
the
a dick
night.
joke? Okay.
We are ending it with a dick
It's
joke.
been tonight's
This
been
is
effective.
James from Impending Lies. Look for them